The dream. Picture this. You wake up to the sound of water gently brushing against the hull. Sunlight pours through the windows. You step outside barefoot, coffee already made exactly how you like it. No instructions needed. No questions asked. The boat is yours. Later that day, you anchor in a hidden bay no road can reach. Dinner is served under the stars. Somewhere in the distance, a coastline glows with city lights. It feels like freedom. But here's the uncomfortable truth no one tells you. Owning a yacht like this isn't a luxury purchase. It's a financial commitment that never stops asking for more. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why most yacht owners aren't actually making money. They're funding an entire industry. Before we dive in, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, because this channel breaks down how money really works behind the scenes. Chapter 1. What you think you're buying. Let's start with the obvious. You want a serious yacht, not something small, something that commands attention in any marina. Think around 50 meters. Big enough to feel powerful, but not so big that it looks like a floating palace owned by a government. The price? Roughly $30 to $45 million. Let's settle on $35 million for simplicity. Now here's where things get interesting. That number? It's not the final cost. It's just the beginning of a very long financial relationship. If you build new, you don't pay once. You pay in stages, over years, and during those years, you don't even have a boat yet. You're paying designers, engineers, consultants, people whose job is to make sure the vision becomes reality. And that vision? It gets more expensive the more specific you get. Custom interiors, rare materials, one-of-a-kind finishes. Every decision adds cost. By the time the yacht is finally delivered, that original $35 million could easily be closer to $40 million. And that's before you've even stepped on board. Chapter 2. The cheaper option that isn't. So maybe you think, I'll just buy used. Makes sense, right? A yacht that's 10 years old might cost half the price of a new one. Sounds like a bargain, but it's not. Because that price already includes future problems, major maintenance, system upgrades, mandatory inspections. You're not getting a discount. You're inheriting a to-do list. And if you don't understand that, you end up paying twice, once to buy it, and again to fix everything the previous owner delayed. Chapter 3. The cost of keeping it alive. Now let's talk about the real number that matters. Annual cost. There's a rule in the industry. Expect to spend about 10% of the yacht's value every year. On a $35 million yacht, that's $3.5 million annually. Every year, no exceptions. And here's the part most people miss. That number doesn't depend on how often you use the yacht. It exists simply because the yacht exists. Chapter 4. The crew. Your largest expense. A yacht this size needs a full-time crew. We're talking 12 to 14 people. Captain, engineers, chefs, stewards, deckhands. They're not optional. They're the entire operation. And they're expensive. Salaries alone can easily reach over $1 million per year. Add insurance, training, travel, and rotation schedules, and suddenly you're closer to $1.5 million annually just to keep the team running. Even if you're not on board, even if the yacht is sitting still, the crew is still working. Because a yacht without crew doesn't stay a yacht for long. Chapter 5. The hidden costs nobody mentions. Fuel? Surprisingly not the biggest expense. Docking fees? Now that's where things get serious. Parking a yacht in premium locations during peak season can cost thousands per night. And over a year, hundreds of thousands. Insurance adds another layer. Maintenance adds even more. Every system on board has a lifespan. Engines, paint, decks, electronics. Nothing lasts forever. And replacing them costs more than most people spend on houses. Chapter 6. The charter illusion. At some point, someone will tell you, don't worry. You can charter it out and make money. Sounds great, but let's break it down. Yes, you can rent your yacht. And yes, it can generate millions in revenue. But that's not profit. From that income, you pay commissions, taxes, higher operating costs, and increased wear and tear. What's left? Maybe enough to cover a portion of your annual expenses. Not all of them. And here's the trade-off. The weeks that generate the most money are the exact weeks you want to use it yourself, so you either enjoy your yacht or rent it out. You don't fully get both. Chapter 7. The rules that change everything. Now let's talk about something most buyers never consider. Regulation. There are certain thresholds in yacht Design that completely change the cost of ownership. Cross one of these lines, and suddenly you're dealing with stricter rules, higher staffing requirements, and more paperwork. That means higher costs for a slightly bigger boat. So going bigger isn't always a smooth upgrade. Sometimes it's a financial cliff. Chapter 8. Taxes and Location Games. Where your yacht is based matters a lot. Different countries have different tax systems, and those rules can change based on how you use the yacht, where you live, and where you travel. One decision, like spending more time in a certain region, can trigger millions in tax obligations. And it has nothing to do with the yacht itself. It's tied to your personal situation, which makes planning incredibly complex. Chapter 9. Depreciation, the silent killer. Unlike real estate, yachts don't usually go up in value. They go down, fast at first, then slowly over time. Even if you maintain it perfectly, even if you rarely use it, time alone reduces its value, and selling it isn't quick. It can take years, all while you're still paying millions annually to maintain it. Chapter 10. Who actually makes money? Here's the twist. The people making consistent money in this industry don't own yachts. Shipyards make money building and repairing them. Brokers earn commissions on buying, selling, and chartering. Management companies earn steady fees. Marinas profit from limited space. Everyone gets paid, except the owner. Chapter 11. Why people still buy them. So if it's such a bad investment, why do people still buy yachts? Because it's not about profit. It's about control, privacy, freedom. A space that's entirely yours. No scheduling around other people. No compromises. That feeling? You can't rent it the same way. And for some people, that's worth the cost. Chapter 12. The reality check. But here's the real question. What happens after the excitement fades? After the first few seasons? When the novelty wears off? And the bills keep coming? Because they don't slow down, even if your usage does. And that's when most owners face the truth. They're not paying for experiences anymore. They're paying to keep the option of those experiences alive. Chapter 13. The final number. Let's simplify everything. Say you spend $4 million per year, and you use the yacht for 30 days. That's over $100,000 per day. Meanwhile, you could charter a similar yacht for a fraction of that, with none of the responsibility, none of the long-term commitment, which means financially, owning almost never wins. The real decision. So owning a yacht isn't about making money. It's about choosing a lifestyle and funding it consistently. The real question isn't, can you afford to buy it? It's, can you afford to keep wanting it? Because the cost doesn't stop, but your desire might. And that's what determines whether ownership lasts or quietly ends. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more behind the scenes, insights into how wealth actually works, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Because the most expensive things in life aren't always the ones with the highest price tags. Sometimes they're the ones that never stop costing you.